Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on DC TV, the Arrowverse in general, because it's some more Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff. We're almost at the end there. But yeah, they actually released a new sort of teaser sort of clip thing, so I'll play that for you right now. So yeah, let's watch it.
There's no way out of here. I have to try again.
Barry, the effort alone could kill you.
Get out of my way!
Cut it out! We're not turning on each other.
Try and stop me!
Crisis on Infinite Earths. The CW's crossover event concludes Tuesday at 8/7 Central.
So we are like, what, 4 or 5 days away from the finale of Crisis, the end of it, parts 4 and 5, them both being on the one night. And I think we are all excited to see those 2 episodes and just see how Crisis on Infinite Earths just wraps up and what other surprises, I guess, are in store for us there. But also how it sets up the future of the Arrowverse and what's to come, not only this season, but in seasons to come for the shows that are there, or even for some new shows. I think we all have a rough grasp on what is going to happen loosely, but in regards to what exactly goes down, that's, still for us to find out. And yeah, as I said, it will be very interesting. But in this video, we are going to quickly go over that clip that I showed just then and what it means in context to part 4, which is the part that clip is from. And then we will also go over some information for the episodes that follow Crisis the week after, for all the shows that are, on that week. That's sort of like hint at the fallout from Crisis for those particular shows. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below. What are your theories about the clip and also the stuff we go on to talk about afterwards? Let me know all that stuff in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to drop a like on it to show support and hype. But yeah, in that clip I showed, which is, pretty short, it's only a teaser, it's not meant to be like a fully fledged trailer or anything like that. But in it we do see Barry struggling, like he's definitely like worn out, I guess you could say, and it's obvious that he has just attempted to do something pretty intense, but what did he try to do? Well, one simple answer is they just tried to, I guess, tap into the Speed Force and potentially travel to somewhere outside of the Vanishing Point, where all the Paragons are currently located, whether that be to another Earth or back in time, or I guess in regards to the Paragons being where they're currently located, I guess trapped is maybe the best word to use, especially for what happens next. But we also have that big device thing that we had seen in promo images, and that we also do see quickly in that clip with Ryan Choi working on it. So maybe that's a device that is used along with Barry's power to try and escape the Vanishing Point. As Barry does say, like right at the beginning of the clip, there is no way out of here, which is, sort of like them being trapped. So we could get a situation similar to early this season in The Flash, if you remember back then when Barry tried to run to the future, but was blocked out by the antimatter wave. So maybe something similar happens here. Maybe not necessarily with antimatter, but just something blocking his way and he can't get anywhere. Maybe because where he's trying to go to doesn't actually exist. But regardless of what causes Barry to say all of this, it does seem that it does cause some tension between Barry and the other Paragons, because they're pretty much just concerned for him, because obviously what he just tried to do was pretty, drastic. But also you just see that there's a lot of desperation from Barry going on there to pretty much go again and try and do what he was doing, or what he was trying to do, whether it's because, I want to see Iris, or it's just because I've lost all these people, the billions and billions of people have gone, and Barry just wants to step up and be that person. But of course, as we know, Barry's actually supposed to vanish this episode thanks to what the synopsis told us when that was released a couple of weeks ago. So you would have to think that maybe him trying again here might lead to him vanishing from the others and most likely ending up in the Speed Force and encountering Oliver like we have seen in the promos for this episode. But yeah, I guess whatever happens, it will be interesting to see how it all goes down as well. I guess as well as how Barry rejoins the others and how they make their way to the Battle of the Dawn of Time against the Anti-Monitor. Because things would have to move not super quick. I think they'd spend half of the episode of part 4 with them just in the Vanishing Point, and then I'll move into that Battle at the Dawn of Time, and then part 5 will be the fallout from that battle. You think that's what they'll do there? But do let me know what you're thinking about all of this and the stuff from the clip in the comments. I'm intrigued to see any theories or just your perspective. But now we have some stuff to go over in regards to the shows that follow Crisis the week after it ends. And what we have are the actual synopsises or description for each show that is on. So let's go over them, as there is some pretty interesting stuff there. But yeah, first up we have Black Lightning. Jefferson navigates his new reality following the events of the Crisis, and Lynn's determination to save the Metakids deepens her troubles. Meanwhile, Anissa/Blackbird faces new challenges. Lastly, Jennifer's bond with Brandon begins to grow. So obviously, this just gives you a hint as to what's coming. And also, pretty much a lot of the synopsises that follow here with the other shows are similar in either maybe a bit smaller or in some cases a bit of a bigger way. But with Black Lightning, this confirms that he's in a new reality. So you'd have to think that this confirms 100%. Okay, I'm not going to say 100%, but it very, very likely confirms that Black Lightning has now merged into the same Earth as Flash and the other shows, and you have to assume Supergirl as well, which we'll get to in a second. They did release some promo images for this episode. I will leave, I guess, the link to the promo images. I might put some up on the screen while I'm talking about Black Lightning. They don't really give much away at all. Like, it just looks like a normal episode of Black Lightning as if Crisis never happened. But I'm guessing, like, they might spend, like, the opening 10 minutes just explaining what's happening and setting up this new reality, I guess you could say, that Jefferson's in. Obviously, the Paragons should be the only ones that remember what happens, but I think what we're going to see Black Lightning be given the memories, and he's going to be the only one on the show that knew what was before. And then when he comes to this new reality, he's like, well, certain things have changed. I don't think they'll make anything too drastic with Black Lightning different, but there might be some little things here and there that are different. Maybe a character's alive, or maybe certain things in the past happened differently and various things like that. Or maybe it's just simple things like the Flash is on his Earth now, and Supergirl's on his Earth now, and various things like that. Intrigued to see what they do, because Black Lightning does film in a different city, so they can't really do cameos, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. But yeah, let's now move on to Batwoman. While Gotham busies itself reacting to Batwoman's awkward encounter, Alice celebrates her ultimate act of vengeance with Mouse. A devastated Mary focuses on Jacob Kane's trial, while Sophie seeks advice about her love life from someone unexpected. As they tackle the newest threat to Gotham, Luke prioritizes protecting Batwoman's secret, and Kate must decide what she is willing to do to honor Batwoman's identity and her own. Now, based off this, there isn't really too much stuff that really points to Crisis. Now, there has been that constant chatter, and I brought it up myself, where Batwoman is on the timeline. Someone's actually told me that they went back and rewatched the episodes, and I think it's in episode 7. They referenced the fact that there's a massive time jump, and they're pretty much in line with the other shows now, even though episode 5 was just after Elseworld. So I didn't really know the timeline of Batwoman, how it really makes that much sense, but apparently nowadays it is caught up somehow. It caught up like 11 months in 2 episodes. Don't ask me how, it happened apparently. I don't know if Batwoman will focus too much on the fallout from Crisis. I'm sure there'll be references, but it is important to note that Batwoman was on Earth 1 to begin with, so maybe I think if like this newly formed Earth that's going to happen won't really affect too much of the people that were already on Earth 1, outside of maybe some little changes here and there. It's more for the people from the other Earth that come in. But I'm sure there'll be some references here and there, but it just depends like how big or small they are. But yeah, now let's move on to Supergirl. The subsequent complications from the crisis leave Supergirl to face a chaotic threat. Now, you can tell, just from how short the synopsis is, this episode is probably going to deal a lot with Crisis, or a decent amount of the episode will be dealing with Crisis fallout. Whenever there's a small description or synopsis, they can't reveal much. And this synopsis was released at the same time as the other ones, and you can tell why the other shows, they had decent sized descriptions. So Supergirl's gone for the shorter option. One thing we know that's in this episode is that Megan Rath, who is the sister to Jesse Rath, who plays Brainiac 5, she will be in this episode as a guest star, as I think it's a female version of Brainiac 5. That was revealed all the way back at San Diego Comic-Con last year. It might have changed. Maybe they didn't know that she was going to be in the episode post-Crisis, so maybe they've changed what her character is, but we were told it's a female version of Brainiac 5, so I'd assume that's probably what it's going to be still. But I am intrigued as hell to see how Supergirl deals with Crisis, because I think, Black Lightning would deal with it a decent amount, you'd have to think, but I think Supergirl is the show that will really be like the show that deals with Crisis the most, if that makes sense. And yeah, now let's move on to Legends of Tomorrow. Sarah, Ray, and Mick are shocked to discover that the Legends have become famous. It seems that everyone except Sarah is loving the spotlight so much that they invite a documentary crew on board the Wave Rider to film them as they investigate a strange new blip in the timeline. The Legends discover that their new problem is none other than Rasputin, who happens to be straight out of hell, and it might be tougher than they thought. Meanwhile, Constantine thinks he knows the reason behind these new blips and informs the team that it won't be easy to defeat. So yeah, Legends is obviously going to deal with the fallout from Crisis as well in a bit of a more, I guess, comedic way, which isn't too surprising. We know that Sarah is probably the only character really here that has a massive arc following Crisis. She's obviously going to be dealing with, I guess, the events with Oliver and everything like that. But obviously, you know, it affects the season, at least to begin with, where it seems like history's changed a bit and the legends are famous. Because last season didn't really set that up that much. Like, I think they did something. Did they do something like that? I'm trying to remember back to it. Like, the thing that they say in the synopsis with, like, Rasputin from Hell, they set that up, obviously, from last season. It's going to be interesting to see they handle that. But I have to think, you'd have to think that maybe Crisis just change the stuff around a bit. And they're now famous. And obviously, Sarah, Ray, and Mick will be involved in the last couple of parts of Crisis. And you have to think they're the only one, like, they have memories of the old timeline, not this new one. So that's probably what's going on there. So it'll be a big shock to those three characters. Hopefully Legends does well this season. I know people hated on last season. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I thought they made some errors there and they just really couldn't come back from those errors. But let's hope they've listened. And we'll have to wait and see how they go. Now, there was like an Arrow synopsis. I've already done a video specifically on that, which is like the 2040 spin-off backdoor pilot thing. I will leave the link to that video if you want to go check out my video on that, so this video doesn't go too long. Yeah, you can check that out if you want to. And you might be wondering, Pagey, where the hell's the Flash? There's no Flash stuff. Flash doesn't come back till February 4th, so 2 weeks after these episodes air. So we're waiting pretty much almost like 3 weeks after Crisis to get Flash episodes. So we probably won't get that synopsis until, I guess they might release it after Crisis, just because we already know what's going on. So they'll probably release that synopsis and some promo images for that episode fairly soon after Crisis ends. So yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over and various thoughts and theories you might have. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.